Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black But 91. We are back again with another video talking to you guys about relationships between men and women. We've been talking to you guys on a series about how men and women communicate differently. And on this conjunction of this series, we are talking about how the game is rigged. Yes, the dating game is rigged. I spoke in part one about how men can win this game, and it's rigged because there are principles that they must follow. And this week, we are talking about the ladies. The game is rigged for you too, okay? There's a way to win this game. When you got that man, there's a way to win. Last week we spoke about how men make certain mistakes with women and it kills the connection and the relationship. This week, we're talking about the ladies and your mistakes that you make that is going to make you lose a good man. What am I really talking about in that particular case? Well, there are some common things that as women, that women and men are needing from a relationship. Specifically for men in this week, what they're needing is appreciation, affirmation, and acknowledgement. It's the three A's. It's the appreciation, the affection, and the acknowledgement. Okay, I said that twice, didn't I? I said appreciation, affection, and acknowledgement, right? And that's what they need from their ladies. Okay, when those three things are flouted, when they are broken, when they're not being done, what tends to happen is you get a completely different man. He goes from Superman to Clark Kent. And whilst Clark Kent is a great journalist, he's not who a good lady wanted in the actual end. And most women want their Superman. And so today I'm going to break down a few different slides talking about this particular issue. So before we go anywhere, make sure you're liking, you're sharing, you are subscribing, you are clicking on that wonderful bell button for the notifications of the uploads. Remember, this video will not stay on Little Black Book. It will go into LBB Coaching YouTube. So if you haven't already subscribed to that, go and subscribe to that channel, LBB 91 Coaching Channel. Okay. Let's talk about it because I got my lovely slide, as I always do every time I come on this place. I got a lovely slide. So we're talking about how men and women communicate differently, and we're talking about how men and women score points differently. It's about scoring the points consistently to win the game. In most sports, you win a game because you are able to score points. And so in this essence of a relationship, it's the same thing. So as we spoke about last time, for women, the weight of effort matters. This is a really big thing. So when women are thinking they're scoring points of men, they believe that because they put a lot of effort into something, that they're going to get more points from that man. Whereas men believe the simple act of doing something is what really matters. Okay. So women will feel that the gestures that they're doing, they've taken time and they've put a lot of energy into it. That's what counts more. And that's not correct. Okay. And what women don't realize is that men also penalize. So very different from last week. We didn't talk about women penalizing men. Men will penalize you. They will take points away from the scoreboard. Yes, you have 100 points on the scoreboard. And by one or two gestures, he's taken away 70 points off the board. Crazy. Okay. But the beautiful thing about that is he can bring those same points back. It is simply about how you make him feel. Now, this is really crazy. Now, I wish I actually brought a clip for you guys really, really quickly to talk about this. I was watching a video the other week about a young lady who was a stripper, and she spoke about how she spoke to men. And one of the things that really stood out to me is that she understood this principle. Men want to feel. No matter how much they talk about women being emotional, men want to feel. And it's about how you make them feel that makes them want to do what they want to do. You want my money? Make me feel good and I'll give you the money. I don't want to feel used. I want to feel celebrated. I want to feel appreciated. I want to feel acknowledged. I want to feel affirmed. Then you can have whatever you want in this world. And so men go by their feelings towards you, how you make them feel. And so that's how they're going to get points. Okay. So when women begin to criticize, correct, move their facial expression. Some of you ladies, you know this, your facial expression, you're saying, oh, it's okay, but your facial expression tells us you're not okay. That's going to be a problem. Body language, you're saying you're okay, but you can tell by the body language you're not okay. You're causing more issues by doing this, okay? Mothering and a lack of perceived respect. will always lose you points with a man. Okay. All right. We're going to try and go through these slides a bit more quickly. So, why men score differently than women? It's because men count the actions very differently. So, they are looking for the utility and the usefulness of the act or the gift. So, when a woman does something, for instance, she goes out and prepares his birthday, that's amazing. It's wonderful. But what is the usefulness of that? It's an emotional thing, right? So when you put on that birthday party, you've invited all his friends. He does appreciate it. But really and truly, the usefulness of it in most cases is that, yeah, it's great, but it's not utilitous. It's not useful in essence. I'm going to feel good for the moment, but it's not useful. Remember how we spoke about men and women, how they need things differently? Men prioritize efficiency, okay? But we'll go deeper into that a little bit later on. And as I said before, they subtract points as well, depending on criticism, control, a lack of appreciation. And then men will give points for appreciation, affirmation, acknowledgement in consistent doses. So let me give you an example, okay? Right? Men, I said this about women as well, how they want consistency from men in terms of the love giving that they have. Well, men want the consistency in small doses, not in big ones, in small doses of, oh, thank you very much. Oh, I appreciate that, babe. Oh, I saw you took out the bin. Thank you so much, babe. Just a simple thank you. Those small little doses, manners, are a big thing for men. Huge. It's why there was a big issue around when a man opens a door for a woman and she just walks through and doesn't say anything. And you be like, the men get angry about it. And it's because it is manners. It's small things like that. For men, it's a big thing. If I open a door for you and you're like, oh, thank you very much, we feel good. We're like, oh, okay, yeah. Because we like to be rewarded for what we do. We're not trying to be rewarded for what we didn't do. We want to be rewarded for what we do because we believe that we've earned the appreciation or the affection or the affirmation based on the act of what we did. You understand what I'm saying to you? So if I open the door, a thank you. If I carry the bin out, babe, thank you. If I take you to dinner, babe, thank you for taking us to dinner. It's small little gestures of appreciation, affirmation, and affection that go a very long way. For the women, it's a little bit more different. So remember we talked about how women want emotional connection. They are placed, they want their emotional effort to be considered in their giving, okay? So what's important for them is that the thought counts. With women, they are almost anticipating the need. Men don't try to anticipate. They want to be asked. This is very different. So women will try to anticipate what's going on and try to meet the need. A man is like, I'm not involved until you tell me to get involved. And actually, this is also very important for women when they want men to do stuff. Men want to be asked. So if you want him to do something, there's a way to ask him, babe, can you just do this for me? Babe, can you pass that for me? Right? Those little gestures can make him feel good because he feels needed in that moment, So those things are also important as well, right? Women lack emotional connection. They anticipate needs and help without being asked, as I said before. And then women mentally count, okay? So the things that they do behind the scenes, they want to be, they think they're going to get extra points from a man. He doesn't see the sacrifice, babe. I know you sacrificed and you went behind the scenes and you did the most. You planned his birthday. You got all his friends together. Yeah. But he doesn't see the sacrifice because he never saw it. So he doesn't know that. He only knows what he sees right in front of him. But for the women, it's like, well, I put in so much time. And you hear women say this, like, I put so much time into doing this thing. And a man's like, okay. Because it's the impact. It is not the time spent in some sense, right? It's not the emotions that were invested. It is the impact. What is the impact? Okay, that's what's important for men. Okay, cool. Why women feel they deserve more points than they actually get. Okay, as I said before, part of this is because women naturally put deep emotional energy into what they are doing. So when they believe they've put a lot of emotional effort into something, they believe they're going to get more points. Like they were cooking your favorite meal for 2 hours. What they're going to think about was, I cooked for 2 hours. The man is like, yeah, you did, and I appreciate it. He's not thinking about the 2 hours. He's thinking about, I just appreciate that. Okay. And again, number two, like I said, women will mentally count. Okay, what they did behind the scenes, because women believe in sacrifice, and I'll talk about that in a second. But what their partner did not notice, and what they did behind the scenes, they believe that they're going to get extra points for that. Number three is that women often love to self-sacrifice, okay? Because women are invested in unconditional love and giving it to a point where they are almost broken, trashed, and trodden down, okay? All right? Women will give until they can't give no more. They'll give their last breath and see if they got any more breath to give, okay? So when they put their own needs aside, okay, they believe they deserve extra credit. How am I supposed to know you put your extra needs aside? I don't. And no one told you to put your needs aside. This is why you're not going to get extra points. So you're not going to get extra points for putting your needs aside. And I don't know you put your needs aside and you sacrificing. I will not give you any more extra points on the board. Okay? That's really important because the person doesn't know. All right. So a big mistake that women will end up making is that they overcompensate um, and compensate incorrectly. Okay. So women like doing what we call big up. You know, they want to make sure that they do the big event. Like I said, something that's emotionally tied to it. And I keep saying a birthday party because it's the easiest one. Like, you know what I'm saying to you, the surprise birthday party, getting all your friends together, and just coming to, and just coming together and everything. And then the man's like, oh, I appreciate that. And she's like, wait. I spent all that time doing all those things. Do you know how much time I had to put in to get the cars together? Do you know how much time I had to go call people? Do you know how much time I had to go and get the caterer? And then a whole list comes out. And because he just said, I appreciate that, she feels like she's undervalued and unappreciated. And what this leads to is exhaustion on her side. And when she's exhausted, she's going to pull away and more than likely going to trigger the man too in that space. Okay. All right. Because you're working too hard to earn his love. Right. So, whilst it is good to anticipate some needs, I believe as a woman, yes, it's good. Whilst it's good to do these big moments, absolutely amazing. But just like I said about the men, okay, just like I said about the men, all right, that big gestures do not cover up for the small things you haven't done. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Okay. All right. So I asked this question quickly. He said, what should she do for the birthday instead? It's not that she shouldn't do a birthday party. She should still do a birthday party if she feels she wants to do a birthday party. What I'm saying is don't expect more points because you give a birthday party. You are doing it because you love to do it and you want to see a smile on his face and that's it. But you ain't doing it to get this massive return on it, which is where a lot of people get stuck in. It's like, I did this massive thing for you. And it's like, yeah, thank you. Like your actual motivation for doing it is a selfish aspect. And that's why when the person goes, oh, thank you, you're like, oh, I expected so much more. Why did you expect so much more? Because you put the emphasis on that. And that's what you have to be very careful of doing, right? And when a man feels that you're doing that, he feels like you're being manipulative. And that's also another turn off. So you're going to lose points, okay? Again, why do men not give extra points to the women? Well, because women believe in the weight of the effort, men simply are basing their point system on doing something that matters. So maybe the birthday party didn't matter as much as you thought it did. You thought it did because you wanted to do that. Did you actually ask them? Did you know that's actually what he wants, or is this something that you would like? You know, sometimes women were giving gifts to men, and they know we don't want that gift. We don't want that gift. You want that gift. We don't want that gift. You know what I'm saying to you? When people feel like that, that's when it can be a little bit pushback. Also, because women take into account their emotional and mental effort, men don't notice this. Okay, we don't recognize it as point worthy. We just recognize it as you did something. Fine, still just a normal point. Okay, all right. So this is where it becomes very contentious, and in that aspect. Number three, men don't usually attach extra points to effort, and what I mean by that is they see the actions as a collection of simple actions. Okay, so in essence, let's say for instance, you cook a meal. You know, he's appreciative of the meal, right? It's a hey, I love the meal. I appreciate the meal. Thank you very much. You know what I mean, right? But what's actually really more important about the meal is actually your emotions towards him at the time of you cooking the meal. This is actually the hidden gem inside of it. See, when you go to cook the meal, right? If you're angry and vexed, that meal is now going to waste because we're not getting extra points. If anything, I want to avoid you now, right? Because what we're thinking in our minds, and what a lot of men have experienced, especially with women, is that this is now going to become something. Okay, this is now sounding like, how am I say it again? Let's say you go cook a meal, you're vexed, you're angry. Yeah, we're not adding any extra points, because what we're also realizing is we're probably gonna have to pay for this later on. This is gonna come back later on. She's gonna use it against you later on. I cook and clean. I do all of this, and you know that list is coming out. And for many men, this is what we've experienced. We've actually experienced this. If she does something where she's not happy to do it, it normally comes back to you later on. But I did it when I wasn't, and then as soon as they do that, now that thing was manipulative. It was never about us. It was about you. And that's where the men will go, okay, minus points, because we ain't about to do that. That you know what I'm saying to you? You annoyed at the time when you cooked the meal, and now you're gonna use it against me later on. Because that's what usually we feel like happens, right? That's not always, and it's not every woman, like I said, it's understanding that aspect. Okay. Let me continue. Okay, so like I said, an example of this is a woman spends several weeks preparing a social anniversary gift. She expects a huge reaction from him, but he just says, "Wow, thanks, babe," and she feels underappreciated because she thought it was worth more points as well. Okay, all right. So it's important to understand what you're giving, why you're giving it. Does that person actually want it as well? Okay. Okay, cool. Men want to feel like heroes. Okay, men want to feel like heroes. Okay, and so why this really works is that because men feel most loved when they are successful in relationships. Okay, they appreciate being acknowledged for the little things they are doing, and when a woman does too much, she makes him feel overwhelmed and unneeded in the relationship. We need space to be able to give. So that's, in a sense, what it's saying is men need space to be able to give. The natural role of that man is to give. There is a lot of men who don't want to do that. Leave them alone. But the man that is good, he wants to give. He wants to be in a space of giving. Does it mean that he wants to give forever and never get anything back? No. But he wants to be able to be in a space where he can give to you. You need to give him room to do so. Like if you're a woman that does everything in a relationship, you are killing yourself, and you are robbing him of the opportunity to be a man in that relationship. If you can do everything by yourself, it's fine, but still vacate some of those things. A small thing like, hey, babe, can you just open this bottle? He knows you can open the bottle. It's not about you opening, it's not about him opening the bottle. It's simply about the fact that you show that you need him. That's it. That is literally it. It's nothing big. You can open that bottle. Hey, babe, can you just open this bottle for me? He's like, all right, cool. And listen, he's going to open it and hand it back to you, right? That's it. Oh, babe, can you get that thing from the top shelf? Now, you know, if you stretched a bit more, you could get it, right? But it makes him feel good, especially when you drop the little thank you, babe. I appreciate that. Oh, you so tall. You know, like you say something like that. It's cute, like, but it makes that man feel good. It makes that man feel on top of the world. Okay, all right. Okay. So another thing is when he's, I should put, when he's vulnerable, their partner covers them and doesn't expose their mistakes. One of the biggest things for men, and it's the most, and you hear men speak about this all the time. Two things. If I share something private with you, and I've experienced this, so I know it's true. If I share something private with you and you use it against me later on, this will destroy trust quicker than a demolition with explosives on a building. Okay, it will destroy every point in that space, and that will turn that man away from you. Number two, men are vulnerable when they make mistakes. When they've made mistakes, they are vulnerable. If I, for instance, let's say we're driving somewhere, I take a wrong turn. In that second or two of me taking the wrong turn, men are vulnerable in that space. If you then say, I can't believe you don't know where you're going, that is going to destroy what connection you guys are having. When they make mistakes, young men, this is a time to either be quiet or encourage him. Hey, babe, I know you got this. You know, we'll figure it out. Don't worry about that. You know what I'm saying to you? Right? Or you just be quiet. But make sure your facial expressions are not one of judgment. Because some of you, your face, you'll be given judgment in your face. You'll be like, You haven't said anything, but your face is. And you know what I'm talking about. You know, the facial expression, the little subtle noises that people be making, right? Those aspects of facial expressions, of body language, you know, the head tilt. It's all those little things that show disapproval that is going to destroy that man and not want to get close to you. There are those minute things. You don't have to say anything mean. You don't have to say anything rude. Your body language, your posture, your attitude, all those things can also destroy that space too. Okay. Um, so an example of this is, and I said this earlier on, like how like a woman takes care of everything: cooking, cleaning, bills, organizing, changing the car oil, putting the shelves up, paying for dates. First of all, if you're in this position, you shouldn't be in this position. I mean, listen, if you're paying for dates, changing the oils, cooking, cleaning, bills, organizing, you at that point you're in a relationship by yourself. You probably need to get rid of that man. You know what I'm saying to you? But it's an example. Allow that man to have some space. Allow that man to take over some things, right? Hey, babe, I trust you to change the oil for me. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe that's not his one. Maybe he can fix a shelf. Okay, maybe that's not his one. Maybe he can, uh, I don't know, fix the antenna on a TV. I don't know, something that he can do. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, let him find his space in the relationship to do, so he can give. You know, all right. Overdoing stuff, ladies. Over giving is not where you need to be. Okay, over giving, if you are a person that is over giving, you are not in the right posture and in the right frame. Come out of that space. It's good to give. I'm not saying don't give. I'm saying don't be over giving where you're now in a part of exhaustion. When you are in that space, you're refusing to accept the sexual polarity between men and women and how they need these positions to be able to do what they do. Allow him the space. Okay, ask for help. Okay, he needs to be asked. So when men want to be asked for help, you know what I'm saying to you? Because when men are dealing with men, they don't ask unless it's absolutely vital. So for him, that's how he's been trained. For women, they already see an issue and they jump forward with it. That's how they are. So understand that the two sets of people are very different. So ask for the help. Okay. Next slide. Okay, how women accidentally lose points. I said this a little bit earlier on. Okay, criticizing him instead of encouraging him. Men want to feel like they're doing well in relationships. Criticism, even small ones, can make you feel like they're failing. Now, does that mean no criticism at all? No. I want to make it very clear. We are not saying no criticism at all before you go down that rabbit hole. It is important about time and season and how you do this, right? It is how criticism is delivered as well. Okay, like we gave an example about this last 2 weeks ago, about the exaggerations that sometimes women make. Okay, there is exaggeration that women make, which is, you never take me on dates. This will feel like a judgment. This is criticism, and it's not real, because it's not that you never get taken on dates. You know what I'm saying to you? We spoke about this last time. The never and the ever and forever are problems or words that we shouldn't be saying. But actually, what it does to a person is that man does start to feel like he's not good enough. Now, I also believe that part of this is an avoidant aspect. I believe that some of this information too that are collated and understood is also an avoidant aspect, because the avoidant doesn't feel good enough. So this is also something that needs to be taken into account. While I do believe it's men, I also believe there's a subset underneath that that's to do with avoidancy and avoidant attachment. Okay, all right, and avoidant attachment. So I think that's really important. Okay, someone asks, what if he never takes you on a date? Then you should have never married him. What do you mean he never took you on a date? How did you get married when he never took you on a date? That's the whole point. See, so it's not a never, because it's not never. Rather than saying it's never, you know what I'm saying to you? If I say you never cook, but you know you cook. If I say you never help me, but you know you help me, right? You're naturally going to have a defensive thing. So here's a better alternative. And we spoke about this last time. I'd love to go on a date with you soon. Let's plan something together. You know what I'm saying to you? That is a better way of handling it. I'd love to go on a date with you soon. Or I want to be, I've got some time next week. I'd love to be taken out on a date. I'd love to go on a date with you. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, that is a suggestion so that he can pick up the suggestion, rather than saying, you never take me on. The never is what's going to get you in trouble. You know what I mean? So even just if you told me, listen, babe, I would love to go on a date with you. All right, I'm like, oh, okay, go. All right, let's go. All right, cool. I didn't even know you wanted to go. I didn't even know, because sometimes what happens as men, we are also in our mind, we are thinking about work, we're thinking about this, we're thinking about that. And I'm not saying women don't think about those things too. You have your own issues, but let's not conflate the two. Well, men are going, sometimes in our mind, we're thinking about several different things that sometimes we can take our eye off the ball of the relationship. because we're thinking about making sure the money's right, the bills are paid, and I'm talking about the good men. If you're dealing with a broke-ass person and who doesn't want to help you with any kind of thing, you're dealing with completely somebody else that we shouldn't be talking about. I don't want to include those people. A man that's good that wants to take care of you also. And I'm not saying he pays all the bills, but he wants to take care of you. His mind can be consumed by different ideas and different thoughts. And so sometimes there can be a little bit of neglect. So just as to remind us, like, hey, babe, I want to be taken on a date. Babe, I would like to go on a date with you. As Gerald's just said, I love that. I'd love to be taken on a date with you. I've been thinking about going to the arcade or the museum. I'd love for us to go to the arcade next week. You know what I'm saying? That's a suggestion so that I can pick it up. Rather than you telling me we never go on dates. You never gone on dates is now a critique. It is now a judgment. And now my back's against the wall. And now I'm going to fight my corner. I said the same thing about women as well. Okay, number 2, overcorrecting or mothering him. Please don't do this. It's the worst common mistake. Overcorrecting and mothering a man will always get a negative reaction. Why? Because men hate feeling like they have a mother, and they hate feeling like they're being controlled and treated like children. Now, are there men who want to be treated like children? Yes. Why are you dating them? Like, you know what I'm saying to you? Why are you dating those kind of men? And there's some men that here want to be mothered. Why are you dating them? Why are you with those men? Stop being with those men because you don't want to mother them. Okay? Most men don't want to be mothered. Okay? All right. So if he loads the dishwasher and then you go right behind him and rearrange it, that's mad disrespectful. Now there needs to be a conversation if he's incorrectly loading it. Yes, there's one that can we have a conversation. But going right behind him, change the dishwasher, or 2, going right behind him and be like, that's not how you do it. Oh, I mean, at that point, you know what? Just load it yourself. Just load it yourself. You know what I'm saying to you? Now, if your man is being intentionally incompetent, you got the wrong kind of man to be living with. I'm going to say it again. We're talking about men that are decent. So, his effort, he wants to be appreciated for his effort, right? It now feels like his effort doesn't count, and he will give you a penalty point because you've now gone to a place where you have mothered him and overcorrected in that situation, okay? Right? So if he does the dishes, just say thank you for doing the dishes, right? Repeat, just appreciate the effort in this case. Have the conversation a little bit later on. You know what I'm saying to you? You've noticed it, note it down, have a conversation a little bit later on. Say, hey, babe, I just noticed that the dishwasher last week, I love the fact you did dishwasher. It's just that you just might want to check. There's a few spots on it just before. Just I want the dishes to be clean. That's all. But I appreciate you doing a dishwasher. Thank you. Thank you, babe. That's it. You know what I'm saying to you? That is it. That's literally it. Like, it's a way of saying it. You know what I'm saying to you? So it doesn't need to be addressed even right then. It could be later on. You might have to address it. Hey, babe, look, I love the fact you do the dishwasher. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It makes my load a bit easier as well. Just in future, just make sure there's a few different specs. Just please, you know how I am, and I appreciate you, babe. Thank you for doing it. No, then it hits different. Okay, this hits different. Okay, Easy Breezy said, "Is this a lesson on how to accept incompetence?" But by you saying that, it actually speaks about you. I don't know if you realize, if you date men that you think are incompetent, then you're incompetent too. Because why would you date an incompetent man? If you think he's incompetent, then you are incompetent. Why would you date an incompetent man? It says more about you. We need to stop this. When I spoke about the women and how they were treated, this was not the pushback. Everything was like, yes. When I'm talking about how men want to be treated, this is how you lose a good man. You think it's incompetent, but it's not incompetent. It is about the way that he wants to be spoken to and how he wants to be dealt with. And the same way I was stern with how men are, it's the same way I'm stern with how women are. You need to listen, learn, and understand it. Because as soon as we go to incompetent, you've already started now criticizing that man, and it shows. So let's listen. Let's get it. Let's get the. I said the same thing about the men, because when the men did this, I got annoyed. When the men did it last time, I got so annoyed. I was like, "You're not listening. You just do this thing where men do this thing where they don't want to listen, and they start saying things. It's not about person being incompetent. It's about understanding that this is how the person wants to be also treated. And so if you can take that lesson and understand it, you are going to benefit. This is why the title is "How Women Lose Good Men." There we go. Okay. All right. Cool. So next thing we're talking about is not acknowledging his efforts is also a massive penalty point. Men don't need dramatic praise. It's not about the dramatic praise of that and trying to be over the top. I said this last week. They don't need it. Okay. What they do need is to feel appreciated. And if he feels his efforts are unnoticed, he starts losing motivation. If he takes out the trash, Just acknowledge he takes out the trash. Thank you, babe, for taking out the trash. That's it, right? And a typical example of this that happens, especially in our modern world, is a man will say, listen, maybe I'm a single father. And women were like, oh, should we clap for you? Should we clap for you? You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You've already robbed the situation. You've not assessed the lay of the land. That's exactly what happens, and then we don't actually benefit anywhere. Like it's the little appreciations that will get that man to do more. It's called positive conditioning. When you do that with men, they do more. That's the whole point. It's like that's where you're going to get more points from that particular person, and you're going to get a better result from that particular person, right? So there's a little things you have to just notice. Like if he does the dishes, just say, "Hey, babe, thank you for doing the dishes." It's not difficult. You know what I'm saying to you? That it's those little things, and it helps. And sometimes people forget. Okay, all right, cool. Uh, and of course, I put a summary here of 10 ways to make your man feel like Superman. And when I say by that, what I mean by that is to make him feel like he's on top of the world, and that the response is a cycle. Because once he does that, he wants to give more. Okay, I said the same thing last week about the women, but this week was about the men. When the women input into the man and make him feel like Superman, he's going to re-input into you. He wants to give you more. You know what I'm saying to you? Okay. So some of the ways of this, 10 easy ways. Smile at him for no reason. I don't like that. I don't think smiling for no reason. I think you should smile for a reason. So that was my point. My point. I put the wrong thing there. Smile for a reason, which is like maybe you love him, you care about him, you appreciate him. It's a smile. You know what I'm saying to you? It doesn't have to be a special occasion. You're smiling because you're a smiley person, but you smile because you love him. You care about him. Saying thank you when he does something small. Give him a hug when he walks in. Just show that you appreciate him. Hold his hand while watching TV. I don't like that one, but I understand it because it's not every man. I think this is a bit more nuanced. I put it in there as well for some. I don't think it's every man because a lot of men don't want to be held on TV. I'll be honest with you. A lot of men don't touch me. I'm watching TV. Okay, all right. Leave him a sweet note. It's always nice as well. Saying this is a big one. Saying I'm proud of you hits men in the most unique way. I'm proud of you. I trust you. I need you are 3 key words that will absolutely make that man Superman. You know, absolute Superman. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Like those 3 words, okay, are so powerful. So powerful. I'm proud of you. I need you. I trust you. Those keywords are so powerful. You know what I'm saying to you? Right? I love those words because what that does to men, specifically men, is that they feel so empowered. And oftentimes they're linked to trauma wounds as well. So it's a big thing. You know what I mean? Saying, bring him a favorite snack. I think that's just basic. Tell him that you make him feel safe. Now, if he doesn't make you feel safe, please don't tell him you make you feel safe. I don't think that's necessary. Like it's not necessary. Like if he doesn't make you feel safe, we are not telling men that they make you feel safe. That's just nonsense. He doesn't make you feel safe. You know what I'm saying to you? But if he does, let him know, verbalize it, Um, and the same thing for women too. I think this point goes 2 ways. Let him win small debates just for fun. I've said this about men. Men should not argue with women. I've said this in the last video. Men should not argue with women. Okay? Men should not argue with women. Okay? It's a waste of your time. When you start arguing with her, you're going to have a problem. Now, disagree? Yes. Argument? No. You will not win that thing. You will not win against her feelings and her emotions. You're wasting your time. Stop doing it. You're wasting energy. We don't argue with that woman. We can disagree, but once it gets to an argument, you're losing ground because her feelings, all she will remember from that argument is the feelings on top of what was happening. So you just park it, rest it, come back again another time when it's a bit more cooler and let her know we can address this a little bit later on. Okay? All right, cool. And then again, asking for his help. All right, cool. So, all my points are here. Okay, cool. Oh, it doesn't show up. Why doesn't it show up? Okay. I said a little bit earlier on, really quick, we're going to zoom through this. Saying thank you for little things, a compliment on his effort, not just the results. Notice and acknowledge when he fixes something, helps people out. Key insight: avoid criticizing because of how men actually react to it. When I say criticizing, it does not mean don't tell him that he's doing something wrong. No, it's a type of criticism where someone's trying to help and do something, right? Let's say they're trying to help you do something, and you're like, "Oh my God, that's not how you do it." Like it's a tone that comes with it as well. It's not just a criticism. We're not saying that men can't be criticized. That's nonsense. But what we are saying is the way that you go about it is very, very important. Okay. So instead of you finally took out the trash, say I appreciate you taking care of that. right? That little slick comment that you make, oh, you finally took out the trash. It's about time you took out the trash. You know what I'm saying to you? Rather than just saying, okay, thank you for taking out the trash. It's, you know what I mean? It hits different. Okay. Give him space without guilt. Give him space and rest without guilt. So sometimes what can happen in a relationship is that men could feel like they want to rest, or watch the TV, watch the game, whatever it is, and they can be made to feel guilty for being in that space. Okay, all right. So when he's well rested, he can respond to you. When he's well rested, he can respond to you, and in that space as well, um, in that space, then he's able to handle certain things as well going forwards as well. Okay, all right. So that's another point. Number three, express your love in simple ways. Greet him warmly, you know what I'm saying, to a touch that's affectionate, leaving little notes, as we said beforehand as well, being positive emotion and energy. This is amazing. Now, does that mean you can't have a bad day or bad days? No, everybody has bad days and even bad weeks. Nobody's talking about that aspect. No, no, no. We're talking about, when you're in a good mood, let it be shown. You know what I'm saying to you? Put it forth towards him. You know what I'm saying to you? All right. Like an example is like, I've run your bath, babe, and the food's on the table with a smile. That's it. I'm not saying it has to be done every day. Again, it's an example of something that can be taken as well. Okay. All right. Let him win by helping you. Okay. Men want to feel needed, so let him win by helping you. Ask for his help. Okay. Ask for his help without actually testing him. It's more about ask for the help. Okay. All right. Ask for his help. Okay. So we can accept his help without criticizing him and how he does it. Just say, hey, babe, can you just help me with this? Because men feel valued when they're being needed. As well. Okay. So. Okay. Respond positively to his efforts. If he surprises you with something, show excitement, even if it's small. Okay. And that's the difference between the men and women. See, when a woman does a big gesture, she wants a big response. But a man's like, listen, I don't need a big response. I just need to say a thank you. That's all. It's small. It's like, just say thank you. Like if I did this massive thing, I'm not looking for you to go like crazy. Just like, babe, thank you. That's it. And we're good. It just shows that you appreciate us. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, that is it. And it'll make us feel amazing. It makes us feel like we're Supermen. We're ready to go again. You know what I'm saying to you? Okay. So, for example, if he buys you flowers and they aren't your favorite, just say that's so sweet of you. Now, of course, I'm trying to buy if I've learned your flowers, I'm going to get the right flowers. You know what I'm saying to you? But it's just an example of how to kind of cover each other in certain areas. Okay, as well. Respect his feelings even when he's silent. Okay. So if he's not ready to talk, don't push him to talk. If he seems distant, don't try to push him to talk. Let him come to you. Okay. But what you can do is, you can say, hey, I can see you're in a particular space. Look, if and when you're ready to talk, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm ready. You know what I'm saying to you? This is also important as well. Okay. Appreciate his effort, not just his success. So celebrating the effort he puts into things, not just the results, right? So if he's done a massive thing where he's accomplished what he's accomplished, that's great. It's also nice to be appreciated for those things, but it's also the effort that we're putting into those things as well, right? So men love to feel like they're making a difference in their woman's life. So a part of that factor, just appreciate the input that he's doing as well, in that aspect as well. Say thank you. I can see changes you have made recently around what we spoke about. So like, let's say there's something that you wanted to change and you're seeing the changes. Now it may not be the massive change yet, but it's getting there. And then you're going to say, thank you. I can see the changes you have made recently around what we spoke about, and that just shows appreciation. He's not fully there yet, but you can see that there's some growth. Okay. I think it's important. Okay. And I said about this already about the issues with things that women lose major points on. One of them is vulnerability. If a man's, a woman's vulnerability actually triggers a man to want to be protective over you. So if you're always, this is what we're talking about, the masculine woman and the feminine man, right? And how they inverted it in their roles. But once that man is in his masculine frame, he wants a woman to be in a feminine frame. And part of that feminine frame is a vulnerability, the ability to be vulnerable, and allows him to want to protect. I've said this before, it's like seeing a baby. Who doesn't want to protect? You know what I'm saying? Your natural instinct is to, because you see the vulnerabilities. Okay. And it's the same thing for men. So if you tell us that, hey, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed, can you help me with this? It makes a man feel useful and needed. See, it's the way that it's put across, right? I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Can you help me with this? The fact that you're feeling overwhelmed, but then you are able to realize, okay, how to ask for their help is so powerful, right? In that space, right? That man goes, oh, I'm needed. And it's not just that you're emotional, but you actually need help. Okay, I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying to you? I'm gonna, oh, okay, I'm willing to step in. Okay. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm willing to step in. I feel that. Okay. Um, or saying that, look, I don't know how to do this. Can you show me? Again, that just again more brownie points for men because that's like, okay, she's willing to be vulnerable in a space where she doesn't really know it, but she believes that I can do it. All right, cool. Or she knows I can do it already. You know what I'm saying? She just builds a deeper bond for men towards women as well aspect. Number two, making mistakes when you are approachable and relatable. Okay, so for women also sometimes I know it can feel like you have to be flawless, you have to be perfect, but men don't want flawless and perfect women. Okay, all right, again, if you've got a man that is like that, he's probably got a perfectionist spirit. Probably leave his ass alone. Okay, men don't need perfection from the ladies. You know what I'm saying to you? All right, men don't need perfection from the ladies. They don't need that. They like the fact that you are flawed because we are flawed too. So, like I said, anybody's perfection will make anybody imperfection feel like I am now, not worthy or not good enough. Okay. So when a woman's able to laugh at herself or admits she's messed up, it creates a warm connection. So instead of just like, oh, an example I put here was, let's say, for instance, you burnt dinner, right? And said, "Oh, listen, I burnt dinner. We're ordering takeout." We're all gonna catch jokes. I'm not about to fight you based on the fact that I'm saying to you, but it's when you start being so hard on yourself that it becomes like a Debbie Downer moment. I can't do anything right, and it's like, yeah. Nobody really wants that. It's like, babe, I burnt a dinner. Let's order takeaway, man, because it's long. I can't do it. I'm gonna laugh and be like, all right, cool. Let's order takeaway. It's not because I want to laugh with you because understandably, what it is also is that for men specifically, is that when we make mistakes, we don't want to be crushed. So if you're able to laugh at yourself when you're making mistakes, I can trust that when I make a mistake, you gonna laugh with me. You'd be like, if I bought the wrong shelf or bought the wrong let's say let's say I bought something wrong, the wrong flower or whatever, wrong flower pot or whatever, you're just gonna laugh at you're gonna laugh, say, babe, that is not the flower pot. Like, it's the wrong one. And I'm like, really? Ah, damn. Like, and we're gonna laugh about it. So in the same way, men want women also who can also laugh at themselves and just kind of feel down to earth and not take everything so seriously. You know what I'm saying to you? Rather than saying, damn, I messed up. I can't believe it. It creates a negative energy. And so it doesn't feel confident from your particular space. Okay. Number three, admitting you need him makes him feel significant. So men love feeling like they're contributing towards your happiness. If a woman insists on doing everything alone, it can feel like he's not necessary. I've already kind of said that. But an example of this is, I got it. I don't need your help. Okay. All right. Rather than saying, can you help me figure this out? And I've said this before that, um, for especially for men, it's not that we want to even dictate your answers. It's rather we want to be considered, right? And so, like, if you would say, "Listen, babe, I want to buy a brand new car. What do you think will be a good car?" The fact that you considered me is what's actually more important. You can go and make the decision about the car, but it's like, oh, she actually thinks my thought process or my ideas are valuable. Like, you know what I'm saying to you? Then I was like, okay, cool. Like, well, yeah, maybe I don't have an opinion. Maybe I do have an opinion. I'm like, all right, maybe the green one with this particular thing, that one would be a good one for you. But, it's still your choice. But I just want to, you know what I'm saying to you? That level of aspect makes men feel, again, empowered to really, again, protect, provide, and really be motivated as well. Expressing your emotions without blaming him creates closeness. Okay, all right. So if you want to show your emotions, fine, without it being a blame. And what that means, again, remember I said to you about how I said earlier on about you never take us out is a blame. It's like you're going to a particular space rather than just saying, I actually want to be taken out. You know what I'm saying to you? Okay, so it's good to express it. Like, for instance, she says, I had a rough day. I just need a hug. It's direct, it's simple, and it gives them a way to support you. Because sometimes what us men do, we can struggle because you're giving us all this emotion. And what do we need to do? Now, I spoke about what men need to do. They need to listen. I talked about this last time, that when women are having their issues, they just need to listen. You know what I'm saying to you? Okay. Melody said, does this apply to long distance too? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, it's even more important because, of course, you're at a distance. You don't have the physical connection, right? So let's say, for instance, let's say you're FaceTiming each other And let's say, for instance, you're like, babe, I've been thinking about. Let's say I'm thinking about, I don't know, going to a new gym, right? I'm thinking about going to a new gym. You can ask him, like, have you? Do you know what gyms are what kind of good gyms are there? It's not that you don't know. You know, right? You might even know, right? But it's the fact that you're willing to ask him for his help. What I'm saying to you, I'm considering a few different gyms. What gyms do you think will work best? You know what I'm saying to you? Like, or what gyms do you think are good? And you don't have to take his actual suggestion. It's about the fact that you consider his suggestion. That's it. That's it. And now he feels, oh, okay, cool. Like he feels empowered. Like, you know what I'm saying to you? Like, so even if you're long distance, it still can work in those particular ways as well. The principles are still the same. So yeah, absolutely. So like I said, I've had a rough day. I just need to talk. I just want to be heard. Can you just listen to me for like good 15 minutes? I call it time boxing. Sometimes you got to time box it. Babe, listen, I've had a hard day. I just want to just get it off my chest. Can you just listen to me for the next 15 minutes? I think time boxing is one of the most important things because somebody doesn't know how long you're going to go on for. And especially for men, we want to solve the issue. And so it's very difficult to want to sit and listen when someone doesn't want to issue, when they don't want a solution. They want to just rant. So just let us know how long you need. Babe, I need 15 minutes. Maybe I need 20 minutes. I just want to get it off my chest. Then he's like, all right, I got 20 minutes. I got to focus. The solution is I just got to listen. You know what I'm saying to you? That's the solution. So like if you need him just to listen, time boxing it is very important. It's like, don't come in there and be like, oh, babe, I just need to rant. Okay, well, how long is rant going to take? Because when you're on a rant and women like to do it without solution, fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. I understand that. But how long are we going to take? Because it could be, you know what I mean? So for us as men, that's how it feels like. So just time box it for us. If we time box it, then he's not aware that, babe, I need half an hour. Then he knows for the next half an hour, he's got to concentrate. I got to be in my bag and I got to listen. That's what old girl told me. And what he's going to realize is once he does that, she's going to say, thank you, babe, for listening to me. Do you know what's going to happen to him when she says, thank you, babe, for listening to me? He's going to be like, yeah, feels good. I did it. You know what I mean? Like, because we want the relationship to go well. We do. I know people got the wrong impression about certain men because those men are trash. Men that are good want the relationship to go well. They want your happiness. So if I know that you tell me you got half an hour, coach, listen to me for half an hour. I don't want a solution. I just want you to hear me for half an hour. I've set my stall, half an hour. All right, let's listen to these points. She doesn't want me to tell her anything else apart from listening. I'm listening. And if after the half an hour, going back to the points we made about men, that little thing after, what's going to seal the deal is when you say, babe, thank you for listening to me. I appreciate it. That's all we need. I don't even need to cook a meal. I don't need to go and do something crazy. I don't need anything crazy being done. Just that, oh, babe, thank you for listening to me. I'm like, well, look at you, coach. Look at you. Out here being all good in the relationship. Out here saving relationships. I'm walking away and I'm feeling like $1,000,000 simply because of what you just said. And that's how simple the equation is in that essence, right? So it takes two, of course, but that directness helps. Okay. It's like, rather than saying, look, you never notice how stressed I am. You don't even care. See, in that space, now we are blaming, you never notice how stressed I am. You don't even care. You never listen to me. You never hear me out. Yeah. When we're in that space, is a dangerous place. You know what I'm saying? Too ain't helpful. Okay. And I already says laughing at yourself makes yourself attractive. I already can say this as well. So I made that point as well. And I said this about the men for us. When he's wrong, don't laugh, correct, or chastise. When I say wrong, what I mean by this is, I'm not talking about those, because I never situation. So if he makes a mistake, yes, we're gonna laugh about it. It's a very different aspect. In this aspect, what I'm talking about is when you can see that it's actually embarrassing. You can see it's embarrassing this moment. This is probably not the best time to laugh. This thing is embarrassing. And you can see it on his facial expression that he's feeling embarrassed. You can see by his body language, he's feeling a little bit shamed. This ain't the time to laugh. It's not the time to criticize or chastise. It's actually the time to actually offer him some more encouragement. You know what I'm saying to you? Okay. So this is actually an important time as well. In his vulnerability, he needs you to encourage and to cover him, not to uncover him. Okay. So if a woman publicly corrects, mocks, or chastises him, he doesn't just see it as a minor issue. It is a deep wound to his masculinity. Okay. And I've said this about men doing it to women too. I don't mention it with this woman. If a woman does something, pull her to the side and talk to her and say, babe, this is not how we do things. Let's not do that. We're in public. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing that in public, babe. You know, you have that conversation at home. And the same thing for men, specifically for men, because men don't like that at all. A lot. And they're not coming back from it. It's very difficult to come back from. It is it's a degree of difficulty that happens of coming back. Men don't snap back easily with these kind of things here. If I'm vulnerable and I said something, maybe I said something even silly, right? And you like looking at me going, that was so dumb, babe. When you say that, we are now at a different place, bro, because it's about respect. So in that moment, the snapback ain't gonna be easy. Okay. All right. So that's very important as well. Okay. All right. And I said, why does this work? Well, because a man wants to feel like his thoughts are considered and valid, even if it's incorrect. Okay. Men don't bond through correction, they bond through understanding. Okay. All right. Allowing him to figure things out without making him feel incompetent builds trust and emotional connection. That's why I was going at that. That's why I was going at easy breezy. And I was saying to you, easy breezy, that's a big thing. The immediate running to that men are incompetent is why I was coming at you and saying what I said. It's because that's exactly what happens when we say about what men need, that you run to that and it shows that there's pain there. You know what I'm saying to you? And so in that space now he's uncovered. Because instead of just understanding, we went straight to trying to correct it. And that creates more distance for the man. You know what I'm saying to you? So that's why I was making that highlighted point. And I've already said about when he makes a mistake, when he leads. I mean, the added part of this is if a man leads and he makes a mistake when he's leading it. Let's say, for instance, you guys are on a holiday and you're trying to figure out where you guys are going on the map, right? He makes a wrong turn on the map. Getting angry and frustrated and say, "Oh my god, I can't believe you turned the wrong way." This is not going to help anybody. Like when he's leading and he's trying to get it right, this is a thing he needs encouragement. He needs you to encourage him. Like, do you know what I'm saying to you? Like, it's okay if you made a mistake. Like, it's cool. We're gonna figure it out. Like, I know we're lost, but we're gonna figure it out. Like, you know what I'm saying to you? Bar there being immediate danger. Like, you know what I'm saying to you? Like, it's cool. Like, it's gonna be right. Okay, so um and when things are not going well in a relationship, for instance, a man loses his job, or you know what, work is not going the way it needs to go, right? And financially he's looking a bit bleak, right? When he's struggling in that space, this is not the time to fix it. We don't need you to fix it. What we need is your encouragement. What we need is your belief. The one thing that makes, and this is one of my final points on this situation, is one of the things that's going to make a man really respond to a woman in a different way is that when the chips are down, let's say I lost my job, but you see me applying for jobs. Your belief in me that, baby, you've done it before, you can do it again. I trust you. I know you're going to do it. It's going to get a little bit hard, but I'm in it with you. Bruh, let me tell you something. That is the ultimate bar and line in there for men. When the chips are down and I look across and you look back at me and say, babe, I know you got this. I know you got us. You've done it before. I know you can do it again. I believe in you. And I see it and I believe it in that you're telling the truth. That man he will kill himself to get to do what he needs to do. He will run himself into the ground. It is simply a belief that will make him, your belief and trust in him, that turns that man from Clark Kent to Superman. You know what I'm saying to you? Now, again, I'm going to say it again once more. There are certain men out here that don't deserve your belief and your trust. Why are you with them? Okay? They showed you form in the past that they are not trustworthy. So why are you with them? Leave those men alone. They're men that are good, that you really care about, and they love you back. They're having a moment and a season. This is the time to tap in. Show him that you're encouraging him and you're back behind him. He can do it. This will change a lot of things. Okay. So men gain strength from encouragement, and taking over lowers his confidence. We don't need you to take over. I don't need you to overcome me. You know what I'm saying to you? All right. Encouragement fuels his desire to provide and to protect. That's how they want to move. Okay. Doesn't want a mother, he wants a partner. So key takeaways: small acts of love, big impact on a man's heart. Small acts of love simply are affirmation, appreciation, and affection. Affirmation, appreciation, and affections. Okay, and even acknowledgement, that's 4 A's, but you know what I'm saying? Acknowledging what he's done. And this will make a big difference. Okay, all right. You don't need to do grand things. Just be consistent with the small gestures of affection in terms of affirmation, acknowledgement, appreciation. You know what I'm saying? Those things will make a big, big difference. Now, obviously my time is coming to an end, and I want to just, you know, uh, appreciate you guys who have been here as well. Like I said, this video will not stay on Little Black Book; it will go on to LBB 91 coaching. But again, I want you to understand this what I was showing you is, I want to make it very clear. It is understanding that this is a principle of having a good man. A man that has treated you well, has good form, is kind, compassionate, caring. A man that loves you. Okay? If you are applying these tactics to a bastard, expect the bastard to be a bastard. If you are applying these tactics to somebody who is a cheater, expect him to continue to be a cheater. If you are applying these tactics to a man that has shown you he's abusive to you, he's going to continue to be. Nothing changes those men. I want you to understand that. Like, if he's not good, if the root wasn't good, then the branches and the fruit are not going to be good. It doesn't matter how much you change it. You need to uproot that thing and be done with it. But when you find a good, decent man, okay, when you find a good, decent man, this is important. Now I've got a few minutes. Has anybody got any questions? If you've got any questions, if not, I will exit. But if you've got any more, if you've got any questions, I'd love to take some of the questions as well. Easy breezy. I hope you're still here. You know what I'm saying, Chew? Okay. All right. I said this about the men last time. Sometimes the men do this too. And it's not the men here, but not the men are talking now at the moment, but I've seen this with men. When I did this content about how women need to be treated, and the men pushed me back on it. I was like, whenever I see that men or women push back on these things, it's because I know that you're hurt and that you've done certain things with the wrong people. You've invested in the wrong people. Because when I talk to the men and I say, men, just listen to her. And then the men say, oh, they don't, why do we have to listen to them? And I know you're hurt because you're not responding in the right way. What that party needs is what that party needs. And I did a whole live series. We're on episode 6, when our 7th week doing this. And I spoke about both men and both women. And when the men piped up, I was like, hey, this is actually on TikTok. On TikTok, it happened. I had some men, and I was like, why? I told the man, pipe down. Where are you going? Because this is what women, they want you to listen. They want you to do small gestures consistently. You know what I'm saying to you? So I don't want you to take it in a negative fashion. I want you to look at it from a different perspective, easy. That if you have tried it before, are you doing it with the wrong people? Are you invested in the wrong type of men? And if you are, then it has to be a discernment issue. We have to change that aspect. You know what I'm saying to you? But listen, I appreciate you guys and ladies for listening. It's been a positive conversation. I've enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying to you? And I will be back again on TikTok at, I say probably 10, it might be 11, at 5 p. No, 4, no, 6, well, 4 hours, isn't it? So 7 p.m. EST. At 11 o'clock, we'll be live on TikTok talking about relationships as well. Okay, so listen, we'll see you guys there. TikTok is Black Muscle 91 because I haven't got my other channel, my other TikTok yet up live, so I can't do it. But if you want to join us a little bit later on as well, we'll talk about this again, and we'll have a panel as well later on as well. So I appreciate you for joining us. Make sure you stay locked, stay loaded. We'll see you again very soon. Much love. Bye bye.